Hello, everyone, and welcome to TeamJVS coverage of Star Wars Tales of the Empire, the newest addition into the Star Wars universe. And safe to say that we are spoiled with what the team behind animation, has been able to do consistently over the years. And I'm here to talk about it, but I'm not alone. I have my other Jedi Council members, if you will. I have Samuel Leggett and I have Busy Braun joining me to talk about this amazing series. Muchachos, how we doing?
Hello,
What's going
hello.
on, dude?
It is this show is such a unique thing to people who are not familiar to these characters and who are familiar to these characters. For context, folks, we're going to be doing non-spoiler review, but then later on down the road, you might see a spoiler review from one of our channels. But just to give a context for everybody, this is a anthology series, much like Tales of the Jedi, that revolves around two main characters. Morgan Elsbeth, mainly played by Diana Lee Inosanto, and Barris Offee, played by Meredith Salinger. New character, old character, and how their paths to the dark side go. I knew a little bit of context behind both of these characters. Sam was more aware about, I believe, Morgan Elsbeth, and Busy as well was more known about the Clone Wars. But I effing dug this series, dude. It was so different. I didn't know where they were going. I was shouting out stuff that in hindsight seems predictable, but I love that more than just what I saw. I love that both of you guys dug it for different reasons and different perspectives. And Sam, I want to start you on it because you didn't see the trailer. You went in cold, and you know some stuff, but not a lot of it. And you were very intrigued to see how it was going to play out. So, how did you take these 6 episodes?
Yeah, this was phenomenal. The fact that we had Elizabeth in the first half and then we had Eris in the back half was very fantastic because the back half, I knew nothing about the Clone Wars. I never saw it. And so I was kind of like, oh, okay, this person, they seem like they're connected to the Force. They seem like they're connected to the Jedi, but what happened? What were the ramifications that brought them to this road?
Yeah.
And with watching Elizabeth in the first one, I was kind of like, I love how they handled her character in Ahsoka and of course the Mandalorian. But I didn't have any foundation. I didn't have any understanding. Much like they handle Count Dooku and of course what we saw before,
Yeah.
they take with so much care of showing how so many different opportunities and pathways led her to where she's at. And honestly, between both of them, I don't really personally feel like they're both on the dark side. I think that's the most interesting thing. It's not like this clear cut, like much like Ahsoka is kind of like an in between or was.
Mm,
Like there's a gray area that shows like why their ambitions have brought them to this. It's more calculated than anything. It's because of their circumstance. And I mean, the thing about it, and you said it, Busy, you said it, Ronin, that the animation is just great. Like, I think Star Wars animation has never really let me down that I've seen. And again, I haven't seen Clone Wars. I haven't seen Rebels. But from what I've seen with these different miniseries or movies, I've been very impressed by it. And I think because they take time to let a character breathe enough for me to care. And I think that that is what Star Wars needs more than anything else right now is for people to actually care about the dynamics of these characters. And I think for me, knowing most of the movies and most of the live action stuff, there's enough tidbits and surprises that you guys are gonna love how they connect everything.
yeah.
There's so much interconnectivity that I was gushing about, and I don't even know everything. So yeah.
How about you, Busy? How'd you take it? Because you knew more about it. You're more in line with me, where I was more aware of stuff coming
So
down.
I didn't watch the trailers, so I kind of went into it not knowing what to expect. And so again, I didn't know Morgan Elsbeth was going to be like a primary character in this. So seeing her kind of like shocked the hell out of me. Same thing goes with Barris. Barris is a character I've been wanting to see in this Star Wars universe again for quite some time. And
Oh
when it comes
yes.
down to people talking about theories and all that stuff. Like I was like, are we gonna see a live action Barris and Ahsoka? And there was just so many different things, you know. It would have been really cool to see. Like, of course, we had that moment in Ahsoka where we see the whole Clone Wars aspect of it. It would have been cool to get a little flashback in live action Barris against young Ahsoka, but you know, I didn't think we were going to see this character after we didn't see her in Ahsoka. I thought it was going to be a long time. So to see her again and to see kind of how everything goes after that moment of what we saw in the Clone Wars, it was amazing and by far one of the best things I've seen in, you know, Star Wars in general. I really enjoyed that entire sequence.
Yeah. Again, without giving too many to give out spoilers, that what I dug was that, well, first of all, let's just say this, and this is not a spoiler. What Tales of the Jedi did was that it started off with Ahsoka, and then the next few episodes were fully Dooku arc, and then the tail end was Ahsoka, and it was showing two paths of two, some would say fallen Jedi's, how they're parallels, and yet they went different paths. One went a more lighter side, one more of a darker side. And what I liked about this, and I agree and I disagree with you, Sam, because I feel like Morgan Elsbeth, although she didn't become an inquisitor and whatnot, she, in a matter of fact, knew what she was doing, felt was right, and was willing to echo stuff from her past and commit to it. Specifically, this shot. When I saw this shot, I was like, "Wow, she got a taste of the Kool-Aid and just drank the whole bottle, man." Like, I found it so. And this is no disrespect to the character or the actors. I just found it more very. I had pity. I had so much pity and felt bad. Like there's a moment, and again, no context, where something is uttered, and Morgan has a you could feel an intense reaction to that utterness, and I felt like, wow, that's gonna just dial up stuff to 11. And what I found interesting with Barris is that, without spoiling stuff, you're not prepared of where they're gonna go with that character. It was to a point where, again, and I love the character, not a well-known character. If you grew up with the show, yes, you knew about it, but it's not the levels of Luke and stuff like that, which is not about measuring popularity. But what I dug is they took a character that deep fans who've watched all the stuff knew and went a different direction than any other character has been done in the past. And I feel like that's what you do with stuff that isn't too well known or stuff that's brand new. And it opened a whole new canvas, in my opinion, to Star Wars, that you could do that with characters. And it feels poetic. It feels like it aligns with the philosophy of Lucas and Filoni and them. And yet there is that poetryness, that rhyme stuff, but it's not hitting you over the head like I've seen other stuff do. You know, is it Hoth or is it another planet that's Salt Planet and whatnot? Is those walkers or are those, Rhino walkers and whatnot? So I like that aspect they did with these characters. And I the Kiners, dude, and we've been saying this since the get-go, like what they've been doing, all of them, not just Kevin, but his children as well, is carrying the John Williams torch so well, so elegantly, honoring the past and making it their own. And I think the animators, everybody involved, should be applauded, because there's shots in this show that are easily, like, you could put up on a frame and be like, "Yep, that is art," or you could use it as a wallpaper or lock screen. Like, people are gonna flip out on the visuals. And the fact that Filoni and team have been holding this back for a while now, I'm like, wow. I just have so much respect to that. Do you think this is a good place to start off for new fans? I'm interested. Whenever I see a new show, I'm like, I'm interested. This is a good way to enter into the fans.
Honestly, I don't think I will always stand by the movies being the best way for the fans to kind of fall in love, or new fans to come in. But at the end of the day, we experienced this firsthand. Barris, Sam not knowing who this character was. Of course, he got a quick explanation from us, but it wasn't anything crazy detailed. At the end of the day, he enjoyed that storyline, and I can let him speak on that, obviously. But like to just see him be as excited as we were to see like some of the things that this character was doing was just enough to explain that new fans can dive into this and enjoy uh you know um characters that have been previously told in other Star Wars shows and stuff. So it's been really interesting to see him experience it. And I mean, I'll let him talk about that firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, say hypothetically speaking, I don't know, I'm like 10 years old, and my first introduction to Star Wars was The Mandalorian, right? And I follow along with The Mandalorian, then I follow along with Ahsoka. I think if I started with The Mandalorian, started with Ahsoka, and then I graduated to Tales of the Jedi
Mm-hmm.
prior, then yes. I think
Okay.
even if they hadn't watched any of the older movies, any of the prequels or the sequels, and they just started from The Mandalorian and then happened to look at Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, because there's enough context for you
Mhm.
to be able to hold on to. Like everybody, no matter how old they are, knows of who Darth Vader is, even if they've seen the originals. So he's his own entity, right?
Yeah, iconic.
But when you think about like what they did with the Mandalorian, like bringing in Ahsoka, that was my first introduction to Ahsoka. I didn't look at the Clone Wars series, right? So that was my first introduction. But they used that as a funnel with this character for Elizabeth, and then the same exact thing with Barris as well. Again, I hadn't seen the Clone Wars, but if you seen a little bit of that, like you're like, oh wow, and so then it'll bring you into the fray that you might want to go and look at Clone Wars after the fact, look at Rebels after the fact. That's how I feel. So I think if you're new to Star Wars and you just started with the Mandalorian, I think that this is a really good placeholder to continue that process. I would agree with Bizzy because I'm old head. Like I remember the original, and I started with the original. But if you didn't, that's okay because you can always go back and it's going to be better restoration in projects. I mean, certain restorations they change certain stuff, so it's better to go back to the original. But without nerding out, I appreciate and I love what they did with this, and I think it's a good for the new fans to continue on, especially when you got like Acolyte coming out and new things coming out with new movies.
And I want to second that because I mean I didn't really think about it from that point of view, but like I introduced Star Wars to someone recently, and they started with the Mandalorian, and so they ended up catching up. They love it, but at the end of the day, I think the one thing that Star Wars is doing, yeah, sometimes people aren't too happy with what we've gotten, but at the end of the day, the one thing I'm enjoying is the fact that they're giving us stuff from like different eras, if you will. So it's like new people can dive into it, and there are a lot of them are going to dive into the new stuff. But if they want a background on that era, they can watch the previous stuff, like Andor. They're like, okay, like who was this dude? What is he doing? You watch, A New Hope to understand a little bit more about, the arc. After you
Yeah.
watch Andor, then dive into Rogue One, then go to A New Hope or The Mandalorian, and then realize I want to know more about this Ahsoka character. You watch Ahsoka, let's dive into the Clone Wars. So there's just a lot of different pieces that they're giving us that, there's already other, pieces of media that dive into that character even more.
Mhm.
So I think it's one thing that I'm really enjoying. And I think, yeah, that's why I think that, you watch The Mandalorian, I think that's the perfect way to start.
Yeah, I like those takes and whatnot, and I think we're gonna be wrapping things up soon to keep it non-spoiler. First of all, that was a cool wallpaper, Shadows of the Empire you just showed. Um, I love that Sam brought it up. That Acolyte is now coming after this, and I'm saying, and I didn't say it initially, but I was just like, what if we're gonna get similar vibes in Acolyte of what we got of this show? Again, Force wielders, sabers, gray area, not to what we're accustomed. I think if they keep that vibe and go and make it their own thing, I think we're gonna have back to back fascinating, fascinating stories that aren't always in the light, that these stories are being told in the shadows. And how does that take in one out? Do you guys are confident that we might get that with that Clyde? And um, how do you see this going forward now after seeing this?
Go ahead, Busy.
So I don't know. I don't want to think too much on that, but all I know is that like the Acolyte is one thing that I've been excited for a long, long time. To see a live action piece just here in general is something that I'm just really, really looking forward to. And you know my thoughts on like shows that are highlighting Jedi's and lightsabers and just
Yeah.
that's
your
my
jam.
crap. That's my shit, bro. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, no matter the route they take, as long as it's entertaining, I'm here for it.
Okay. What about you, Sam?
So I'm gonna use this character right here, who again I got introduced to this character from Ahsoka, right? And this character right here is a very I've grown to love this character, and I don't even have the full context of the character, right? If they're able to give good story and good foundation for me to care, it leaves like its impression of legacy that revolves. And I
Yes.
think if Acolyte can do that in any, like even if it's a 20% of like a real true legacy, I think that we're gonna be eating for days. We're gonna be eating good because the
Yeah.
quality, it looks like it can continue to go up. The concern a lot of people have, much like, I mean, I don't want to dip and dive into different franchises, but Marvel, look at what they're doing with X-Men 97. Great storytelling. The concern has always been is how does that look like translating to live action or live action film or silver screen? The silver screen seems like it's been doing really good as far as shows. Film, we're hoping for that same exact quality. And again, I'm gonna keep betting money on Dave. I think Dave is not gonna steer us wrong.
I
And
agree.
I've been eating well,
All
and that's
right.
a person that hasn't been in it, in it, in it.
Right on. Folks, that's gonna be it for this non-spoiler review. You have no idea how much I want to tell you more, but we'll do that in the spoiler version. I'll say this on my end: keep on the lookout for the second episode and how this series ends. It is a whiplash of a vibe, y'all. But Sam, Busy, thank you so much for joining me on
Of course.
Talking Tales of the Empire. Busy, where can people find you?
Busy Brown everywhere. Busy Reactions on Instagram and of course on Ronin Unchained's channel and Team JVS's channel.
Beautiful. Sam? Or me? Or okay. You can find me at Ronin Unchained on my own channel. You best believe I'm gonna be covering this. And I think what we're gonna be doing is that we'll drop the spoiler version on my channel where we can dive deep on this stuff. And yeah, I am so glad Sam touched on that shot. I don't even want to say it. That shot of those characters. Wait, y'all. Wait, this is something special and unique. And again, kudos to the team at Lucasfilm. Kudos to the animation team, the music department, the actresses. You knocked out of the ballpark, in my opinion. Folks, take care. Thank you so much for bothering to check this out. And as always, may the force be with you.
Woo, 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 woo. Let's get busy.
Yeah.
Falling off the top of